Hello and welcome to Couple Conversations. I was told I have to do this. Welcome. Coming to you looking like a bandit from Home Alone tonight. And Mike in his vibrant sherbet sweater or shirt he got today.
Yep, won this shirt in a giveaway.
See why you should enter giveaways?
Yep, Shale Craft Coffee.
You never know when you might get a nifty tie-dye shirt.
Never been there.
But he loves a good giveaway.
I do. Thanks, Ryan. If it wasn't for you, this wouldn't be possible.
Even though you've never been there, you're representing.
He tagged me in the giveaway post, and I was like, oh, sure, I'll do it.
And you end up winning.
And I won it.
Woohoo! Go figures. Welcome.
Yes. Podcast.
To this thing we do. Week recap. Week 2 week recap. What have we done? I feel like I don't actually think about it because I'm just like every day, just goes by and here we are.
We're the busiest, not busy people you probably know.
We have something like every single night, but it's always the same thing. So it's not like fun, like, oh, we're going to a concert type of thing. When's the last time we ever went to a concert? Didn't we see Ed Sheeran last time?
Logic was probably the most recent that we went to.
That's true. Which was a hot minute ago for sure. So it's just like, school, preschool activities, worship or church stuff, and repeat.
Showboys stuff.
Showboys stuff is a lot.
Bookshelves got done.
They did.
Turned out nice.
Almost.
Pretty much.
Mike had a father-daughter dance tonight it was a Valentine's Day dance, but we were going to make it like father-daughter, and he was going to take them, but our oldest hasn't been feeling 100% this week, so she stayed home from school, and he got all fancy. He wasn't wearing this get-up. He should have wore it tonight. He looks so cute.
Go follow her on Instagram. You can see.
No, I didn't post it on my other one. I posted my personal one. I should have just had a picture right here. This is Mike in his cute little outfit that he wore tonight.
Yeah, since she didn't go to school, we didn't go to the dance, so we just did it at home.
Yeah, it was pretty
for
normal.
4 or 5 songs.
Yeah, she loved it.
It was fun.
Yeah. So, and now they're hopefully all sleeping.
Hopefully.
Famous last words. So, yeah, there wasn't anything really super exciting, like out of the ordinary that we're doing. So do you want to just jump into?
Yeah, sure. So, well, we'll say after last episode, behind the scenes got organized with the podcast, which made me happy.
He's very, very organized. If you know this guy, he loves spreadsheets. He even has a spreadsheet for what's in our freezer, which you haven't updated that in a while.
I know.
But he loves a good spreadsheet. He lives for it. So he was he's been hounding me all week. Like, who are we going to have on this night? And we have guest fans, so be prepared and excited. And he made me pick out cards and everything. And I'm literally painting a bookshelf and nursing a baby at the same time. I'm like, Mike, I can't right now. But we are organized.
Cards picked out through April.
Yeah. So look at us.
Yeah, we're not deciding 5 minutes before we come down here.
Yeah, you knew what the card was, though. I was like, hey, what is our topic on again the other day?
That's because you're bad at this. Anyways, so our topic tonight is going to be interesting for me because it's not something that I particularly, I don't know how to say this without sounding like a complete jerk.
I think... No, say it and then I'll explain what I'm going to say because I'm going to give it away then.
Not really interested in.
Yeah, and that's okay. It's not like you have to. I feel like you don't have to have a desire for this in your heart.
Yeah, but I don't know. With the way that I named the episode tonight, I have something to say. But, so if you notice at all, we're Christians, people of faith. We both serve at our church. I work at our church part-time. We've been serving at our church for over a decade. Jesus is a big part of our life, and serving is also a big part of our life. So, the topic tonight is, if we were going to serve on a mission trip, where would you like to go? What type of service appeals to you the most?
Did I pick this card? Because why would you pick this if you didn't have a topic? Oh, I didn't know I picked this.
Yeah.
Okay. Must have been one of those things
I
with all
don't
the
do
paint
this.
themes,
Yeah.
you know.
I don't know why I do this with
But
you.
it's funny because neither of us have been on a mission trip before. And like I said, I don't think that it's like it's not everyone's heart's desire or whatever. So I don't think that, and it goes along with something too, because so going along with what we just talked about with like what we do, we actually are part of our church just launched. It's a new baby church. In April will be a year, right? April.
Mm-hmm.
And our mission of where, like, for our church and where we live is that we're a community, like we are for our community that we live in, where our church is planted, which is in Plain Township in Canton, Ohio. So our heart is in here. So like our mission, I feel like in where we're at in church is for our community right now. And that's, wouldn't you say that's more of your passion and stuff like that, especially with like, I mean, like we live in this community, our kids are in school in this community, like our friends are here, like it's just like that's where we want to pour it into. So I don't know, I feel like that's a form of missions in a different sense of like, I don't know, instead of like a big global mission.
Yeah, I was thinking about this because usually my default answer is, again, it's gonna sound like I'm a big jerk, but
No, you're being real
I'm
and
really
honest.
not. But well, sometimes I am. But when missions comes up, I always think like, oh yeah, it's pretty great to go and help those less privileged around the world. I mean, there's a lot of third world countries that could use help in various many
Sure.
ways. But also there's a lot of people here in Plain Township or Ohio or the United States like that could also use help. And so my default answer is like, well, why don't we focus on the people here?
Which is kind of like where our church is at too.
Yeah, but I was thinking while I was in the shower.
I started doing my best thinking too.
And like people who have it really bad here still are probably 100 times better than people in third world countries.
That's true.
Like, say you're homeless in Canton, there's homeless shelters, there's soup kitchens, like there's places you can go to get clothes to stay warm. You can find a place to sleep. You can find a place to have a free meal. If you're somewhere in a deep village of Africa, like you don't even have access to clean water.
Yeah.
So that kind of made me change my perspective when I think about missions and how people like to, go abroad and do missions in other places. It makes sense to me now. And so I guess the first answer for me would be, if I was going to go serve on a mission trip, where would you like to go? Probably Africa somewhere, and do, I guess I'll just answer both. But do some sort of water well work. We've I think it was Life Water, right?
I believe so.
Something like that. That we've donated to before through church. That they go, and I think at the time it was like $3,000 to dig a fresh water well in a village. But yeah, just to be able to help provide a village or a community with drinking water, which is like the most basic of basic necessities for life.
Yeah.
Super important. And also, like, in the grand scheme of things, not very expensive. $3,000.
Yeah, for real.
to provide a lifetime of clean water for a group of people. So yeah, if I were going to serve on a mission trip, I would want to go to Africa and do some well work, which is kind of funny because I work in a different kind of well job, but I think our youth group, who our youth pastor, who's now our campus pastor at our new church, I'm pretty sure he took the youth group on a mission trip to Africa,
and they built a well
to do a well.
Yeah, they raised the money and then they built the well while they were there, I believe, and stuff.
Which is something really cool. Our youth group, I don't even know how many trips, but at least 2 or 3 probably. I think 2 to India at least, and 1 to Africa.
Yeah, that sounds right.
But yeah, a group of students from our youth group 3 different times went on a mission trip across the world and did the Lord's work, which I just think is really cool. I mean, a bunch of high school and middle schoolers going and
wanting to do that.
Yeah.
And raise the money for it and stuff. Yeah, it was pretty amazing. For me, yeah, I think that because I've never gone on a missions trip either. So I lived vicariously through our youth group or whatever, and seeing them, I'm serious, and their experiences and hearing their stories and stuff like that. And I don't know why I never went on one. I guess just the timing never lined up, or I never felt like I was called to go on that specific one. And I mean, I think it'd be so cool someday to take our kids on a missions trip and do those things.
I put my feet under the blanket. My feet are cold.
We have our last church that we were part of was really cool about missions, and they still probably do mission stuff, and it's really neat. And they had a lot of families that would go to Honduras and work there and stuff like that, and build relationships with the people there and help out anywhere they needed to. And I think that is so cool to be able to do that with your family, and your kids, and show them a different country and how, I don't know, just showing them that experience and really putting life in perspective for them, not just from the standpoint of you should be really grateful for what you have, but also that it's an act of giving and showing other people, your time and your talents and your abilities to help others the way that Jesus wants us to live. So going off that, one of the last mission trips that a lot of our friends had gone on these trips, I think the one that stood out to me the most that really broke my heart to want to be there was the ones in India that they talked about, because I believe that's where the orphanage was. And I remember them telling these stories, and our pastor will talk about them sometimes in sermons and stuff like that, of walking through these orphanages or orphanage. Why can't I say that word? And there was sick babies and kids, mainly babies and stuff like that. And they were just crying because they wanted someone to just hold them. And they didn't have anybody like that. And that literally just breaks my heart and makes me think about it. And if I were to serve on a missions trip, I would be I'll be here if you need me, with 10 million babies in my arms, just loving on all of them. I not only love babies and stuff like that, but I just love people, and that's my favorite thing, to be able to love on people, and just I don't know, I just want to go there and let people know that they are cared for and they're loved, and help out any way I can. I probably would also want to bring I probably would bring 5 suitcases just filled with stuff for them, because I feel I always thought it was a bad thing to admit that my love language is gifts, because that sounds very terrible. But I really enjoy giving gifts too. I love doing that for my girls and stuff like that, seeing their excitement, and to think that I could bring that to another country and just make them excited, just for the simplest things. I don't know. That would be so cool to me.
Yeah.
Maybe someday.
And something I think would be cool to experience is from the stories I've heard, just the joy that the people in places that our youth group has gone is kind of absurd when you think about it, especially when you compare it to here,
Yeah.
like the people that go to church here in America, or like, just even unchurched people, the lack of joy that most, like true joy that most people have, even though we have, again, even people that are considered in poverty here have like a
Options.
luxurious life compared to uh, poverty stricken people around the world. Yet, you know, we're so discontent and uh, unhappy. But like the simplest things to people in the places that our churches served, like brings them so much joy, and they just have joy in the Lord, and like this reverence for Jesus, and like I don't know how to explain do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I get it, because like they don't need things of this world, even though I just talked about wanting to bring things. They don't need that. They don't like,
Yeah.
they're happy with like relationships. And like, I know what you're talking about, because the way that the students come back and talk about it, or like our pastor and stuff like that, just talk about how much joy it brought them, to them just being there, and that they cared about them, and they wanted to like love on them and stuff like that. And that's all they needed. Like they didn't need the
But you
things
like
of this
look
world.
and like all the images or videos from like church services, like the people there are worshiping their hearts out. And like, again, this is probably going to sound insensitive, but like they don't they have things that we don't have, like eternal things, like, but like we have a ton of materialistic things and comforts, and like it's so hard to get people to sing a worship song. I know, I'm a worship leader, like
Yeah.
my job is to try to get people to enter into worship and sing worship songs with us. And like we have everything that we want or need.
Yeah.
And like people aren't grateful, but you go and you see people in places that are uh, impoverished or whatever, and they're out there singing their hearts out, like dancing, full of joy, like full of worship for Jesus. And you just kind of sit and in awe, and like I'm struggling to find the words to explain what I'm thinking, but like I don't know, it's a really beautiful thing to see, because it's like, man, what the heck are we doing?
Yeah.
Like,
For real.
like we have everything and more, and we're not appreciative. And I don't know, I would just like to go just to experience that.
Yeah, me too. Just to like really, I don't know, make you realize, I don't know. Sometimes I feel like, I know this sounds weird, but I feel like those parts of the world, like I forget that there's other parts of the world, you know what I mean? And they're different cultures, and they're different, like you said, like different poverties and stuff like that, and different areas where like it's not easy to get clean drinking water. Like that's just insane to me to think about, you know.
Yeah.
We take advantage of that, and like how much of us like forget to just drink water in the day, and we have the option,
Or how much water like
we waste, even like with taking a shower and doing laundry, you know.
But hey, let's complain about someone saying a word we didn't like.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
make a big uproar over that. Meanwhile, there's people like literally trying to figure out how they're going to like find water to drink.
Yeah.
And it's just like, really, when you think about things like that, and I'm sure going on a trip to a place like that to serve and then coming back here puts life and makes you see things in a whole new perspective.
Yeah.
You're just like, wow, like
What am I doing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There are people out there literally struggling to survive, and I am outraged because somebody sent a mean tweet, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But the reason I titled our episode this Life on Mission is because when I was thinking about the card, like, really, mission, shouldn't be confined to a trip, right?
Mm-hmm.
When you look, we've been watching The Chosen together, which is a show on the life of Jesus. It's on BYU, which is a college, Brigham Young University.
Oh, I didn't know that.
But yeah, the BYU app on Roku, but I think like there's literally an app on the phone called The Chosen.
Oh.
And you might be able to find them on YouTube too. But anyways, it's like a completely crowd-funded show, not made by a big studio or anything. But yeah, they have 2 seasons out or whatever. Anyways, long story short, I typically hate any sort of like Christian media, movie, shows, because most of the time it's terrible. Like, it's bad. Doesn't do a great job representing the Bible, and it's done by people who are not good at that craft either. So
yeah.
But this show actually is a really good show. Visually looks really good, is acted really well, and the content is like very accurate to the Bible, and they're not trying to do anything other than tell the story of the Gospels.
Yeah.
And I really love it, and it's really helped me understand a lot of things from the Bible and make what I read in the Bible make a lot more sense. Anyways, watching that show and then getting back into reading, you see that Jesus really lived his entire life on mission. I mean, he spent his life, during his ministry, traveling around the region preaching.
Yeah.
And so, we're supposed to live our life and model of Jesus and be as Christ-like as possible. So you look at what he's done, right? And, we're not called to just go to church, attend a weekly service, listen to a message, and leave. We're called to go out into our communities, into our regions, and serve people the same way Christ did. I mean, yeah, the main part of his ministry was his preaching, but like silly things in that show, like there's a scene where he's helping somebody fix a cart, which is hilarious because they have it up on a rock, kind of like a car jack, which is really funny. But like everywhere he went, whenever somebody asked him for help, no matter what it was, he would help.
Yeah.
And so, like, what's that look like for us? Well, going out into our schools or our jobs, or random encounters at the store or whatever, and like loving people the same way Jesus did and does. So I don't know. Our whole life is to be a mission trip, I feel like.
I agree. That's a really good perspective on it that I didn't think past, just the card question, but it's true. Yeah, I just feel, the whole TV show, I'm a visual person, so it's really been really cool to just like see that together. And I'm gonna be completely transparent and honest that like with reading the Bible, sometimes it doesn't always bring like clarity to me. Like I don't understand the time frame or like what they're trying to say. Sometimes I was raised Christian my entire life, have been a Christian my whole life, but like never fully understand the Bible. And I know that like it's a TV show. It's not like
It's not like 100%.
You shouldn't skip, reading the Bible and
Right.
watch this show. But while you're reading the Bible, like what Mike and I are, what we're doing in the Gospels right now, reading through that, and a lot of the stories and a lot of the scenes in like the first season alone,
it's like word for word from the Bible.
Yeah, and we're seeing the picture. And like
Yeah.
I said, that's not what we don't know what Jesus actually looks like,
Right.
or like those are the disciples. But it gives you something to actually put in perspective, like, wait, it's not just a storybook. Like this is real. Like it happened.
Well, and like they give you the visual context that you don't get reading the Bible unless you were like a scholar and understood the historical context of the region and the laws and the way their society was. Like in the show, you see, what their culture was like. So the things that Jesus was doing that you read about in the Bible that maybe might not be as shocking, or it might not just come across as intended when written to make you think like, oh my gosh, I can't believe he did that, or this situation blows my mind because so and such and such happened. You don't get those revelations, at least personally, because I'm not a scholar. I didn't study the Middle East region back when when Jesus was around.
Yeah.
But like the show gives you that visual context of the culture. So when he does certain things, you're like, oh, that was like a huge deal because of the way society was then. And like just the way that I understand things, I'm just like, wow, that's super cool. And then like going through this plan that we're doing, I'd end up reading a story of one of the scenes from the episode we watched, and then I'm like, wow, that actually is super cool. And also they like this quote from Jesus in the show was exactly like word for word from the Bible, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been really cool to see. And I was thinking about this while you're talking, like the title that you titled it with Life on a Mission and stuff like that. And we talked about these like big things that our church and youth did when they went on those places, and like the amazing things that they did and the experiences that they got from those people in those places. But with our Life on a Mission, it's, like I feel like there's definitely people that are called in the missions field 100%, and there's maybe others that aren't. I feel like we're not all called to go dig a well, and do those things.
Mm-hmm.
And like you were saying, it's just simple things like in like different scenarios and stuff like that. Could be as simple as like saying like complimenting someone, or like just smiling back at them. That's easy as that. Or taking it a step further and offering to help someone when you see a need, even if you don't want to do it or whatever, and just going out of your way to like do, like, I think the world has like kind of twisted the saying of like, do good and like be good and give back to others, and it's feel good for you, like stuff like that. But I feel like they lost the like who started that and why. It's like, I don't know who is the creator of all those things, and who would stop what he was doing to help others, to listen to people, to hear what they're trying to say, and like fix the needs and stuff like that God did. And it's just, I don't know. I just think that it's gotten changed throughout the years. And when we're doing those things, I feel like we just need to remember why we're doing them too,
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I don't think it has to be a complicated thing to be to live your life on a mission. It's just to be kind and love people like Jesus loved them, and offer help in a need when you see it and stuff like that. And if I think that a lot of times, like sometimes it's just like, yeah, our baby just rolled like
what is she doing?
like in the corner of the, oh no, don't get your arm stuck. Hold please.
Sorry.
Wait.
Uh-oh.
Oh, she's out. We're good.
Phew.
She's going to put herself back in. She's the most stubborn. She needs Jesus. This baby does. She's so stubborn. Okay, we're good. The monitor's right here in case you're wondering what we're looking at. Yeah, like living your life on a missions for Jesus, I feel like is the best way to look at it. And like, just remember what your focus is and why you're doing it, and don't overcomplicate it or don't overthink it. Just do it. Like when you feel those little nudges inside your heart, like do it. I mean, don't put yourself in unsafe situations, I should say, because I feel like I would probably do that knowing myself. I'm always like, if I see someone on the side of the road, I'm like, Mike, I wanted to stop and help that person and fix their car. I don't know how to fix a car and I might get murdered, but there's other times and you'll feel peace about it, I feel like.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess. I don't know. That was an interesting card to pull, and I feel like, I mean, we're at 31 minutes, which I think is a lot considering I had no idea how I was going to answer this question, because this isn't something that usually is like a huge desire or thought of mine.
Yeah.
But I'll say it was nice to like have this talk because, I don't know. I think one of the things I like about doing this, regardless if people actually listen or not, is, I don't know, it makes me think a lot about the topic that we're talking about, that I probably wouldn't have thought or talked about before. So
yeah,
and it helps me like articulate my thoughts because I have to say them out loud.
Yeah, I think that after this card too, it makes me think about like how we can get our girls involved in like doing stuff like that and like living their life that way and not being so like, I mean, they're almost 7 and 4, like not me centered. I was going to say like they don't understand, but just like to learn what it is to live your life for others and be a blessing to others and stuff. I don't know. It's just what I was thinking about while talking about this. I'm like, ooh, what are some ways that we can teach our girls those things, or even ourselves, really? Because I mean, every day is like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm making it up every day, but I know that I love Jesus, and I know that Jesus loves everybody and loves people, and he's put that desire in me. So I'm like, oh, how can I use this to, I don't know, live my life for that?
Yeah.
That's it. Peace out.
Oh, are we ending this or
something?
I
just felt like I didn't know what else to say, so there you go.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it could be. Yeah, I think it's probably would be a good time. Unless there's anything else you want to talk about.
What are you talking about?
Oh, got a comment from Pam. She says people need to take a step to help people more, and one step more to put a smile on someone's face. To be kind seems no one wants to help anyone anymore. I know it's pretty crazy. We have definitely shifted into a very well, not I mean, this was even before COVID, but like our society is so me focused that I don't know, it's just a jaded, hardened heart society where I don't know, I guess people are just desensitized to other people's feelings or situations. Oh, it's kind of sad to see, but
yeah, it is. It makes you wonder, like, what can you do? Like, I think sometimes it gets overwhelming and you're like, well, what can I do? You know, like I'm just one person. It's not going to make a difference or whatever. But I mean, one person can make a difference, you know, and we can spiral from that.
Leaves the 99 for one. Just saying.
That's right.
Yeah, thank you for tuning in to our sermon tonight.
Like it'll pull down a guitar from the wall and lead us in a closing.
Wow.
Hey, actually though, if anybody is local, you guys should totally come check out our church. It's Red Oaks in Plain Township. If you ever want to come, we'd love to sit with you and have you there.
Sundays at 9
That might be
a.m.
helpful.
at
Faith Community Church.
Yes, which is on the corner of Cleveland Avenue and 44th Street.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get to hear my awful singing voice.
He's dramatic.
And yeah,
It's not
it'd be fun. But thanks for tuning in. It's a pretty short episode tonight, but I actually got a lot out of it myself personally, which is the only reason I do podcasts is for my own personal enjoyment. Hopefully you guys got something out of it. But yeah, we have topics for the next several episodes picked out already.
True.
I don't know if their topics aren't actually written on there.
I
but
know, I was just trying to say in the next episode.
We have a couple fun ones. We have a couple more serious ones. We have at least one episode with guests, which will be fun. And we're trying to find another guest for an episode. So go follow us on Instagram and subscribe to our YouTube channel
March 3rd. That's
Couple Conversations Podcast. March 3rd is the next episode.
Yes.
Still working on getting our show on Apple someday. That will happen.
Okay, he hates Apple, so that's probably never going to happen.
I want to because that's the podcasting platform most people use.
Yeah.
But it's insane. Long story. Question: does your church have a divorce group?
I don't
think so. But also, we're a very young church in terms of existence. We've only been a church for it'll be a year in April, so there's a lot of groups that we don't have just because we are a baby church. Yeah,
we do have like classes that we do offer though. Like right now we're doing one on emotionally healthy relationships. I'm taking that one right now, and it's not even like it doesn't have to be like a marriage centered one or whatever. I'm taking it from a friendship standpoint to just like be able to learn how to like have healthy conversations with family, friends, all those things. So that one's a really cool class. I mean, we also offer a lot of those things too.
Yeah.
That's that.
Yeah.
March 3rd.
Subscribe, follow us. If you're into movie and show talk, subscribe to Showboys Podcast. And yeah, what were you gonna say?
That's that.
That's that. All right.
I gotta wash my hair.
You guys have a good night. We'll see you next time. Goodbye.